Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse. Thank you for joining me. We need to have some straight talk about the state of our nation and the federal government and the fact that there is no one coming to save us. It's up to us. Please share this video. Before we even get started, I have to tell this to you. Please share this video because if you don't, it will not get out. There are very important things I need to cover with you. So please, I appreciate your attention. Please stay with me through the whole thing. This federal government is so rogue, so vile, so inept, thoroughly wicked. Any participation in any reinforcement of their power structure is only going to create massive chaos worldwide and ultimately lead to the destruction of our rights here at home, further than what they've already been subjected to. Friends, I keep hearing this nonsense that has been peddled for the past nigh on 6 years. Just wait and trust the plan. It's 40 chest. Messiah figure A will be reinstated in office. Stuff from behind the scenes will happen, and you don't have to do anything other than sit on your butt and watch it happen on TV. It's a lie. It's a psyop. There is no one coming to save us. There is nobody working behind the scenes on the federal level to magically put somebody in who's going to safeguard our rights. It is gone. You have two options at this point that involve protecting your rights and radically castrating the power of the federal government that don't involve massive bloodshed. The Convention of States and secession are your only two options. You're not going to retake the feds. You need to put that right out of your mind. It's not going to happen. No marches on D.C. are going to fix this. There's no patriots working behind the scene that are going to massively take over the federal government and install back into power people who need to be there. That's a delusion. It's not going to happen. Our founding fathers knew this day was going to come. The anti-federalists in particular, who are they? Thomas Jefferson, Patrick Henry, Richard Henry Lee. These men, among others, recognized that this day would come. The day in which the federal government and all of its war escapades would have extended the powers of empire so broadly that the tax burden and the overall experience of the American individual would be greatly diminished in order to further their warmongering and their empires. For 20 years, this nation has been at war. My generation, our entire adult lives, has been at war. For what? For what? This federal government that can't get its act together, that has abandoned Americans overseas, and yet somehow thinks that it's within their purview to completely drop down the security of our southern border and allow us to be invaded softly by hundreds of thousands of foreign nationals. This same federal government that over this past weekend de facto has moved to limit the domestic ammunition supply and drop it by approximately 40 to 45% with the Russian ammunition ban via embargo. This same federal government that views the purview of the Department of Justice most applicable to hunting down people with forged V papers and V cards. That's where the priority is.
Well, shit. Sorry for all the noise.
The destruction of the rights of the American people locally, facilitation of invasion on our southern border, and overexpansion of our war machine for the purposes of empire and profiteering off of the military-industrial complex. That's who you're dealing with. You're not going to fix them. You're not going to gut them of their powers by playing in their system. And our founding fathers knew this was going to come. They knew it. They gave to us two options, secession and Convention of States. And when you hear people poo-pooing the Convention of States, first let me explain what a Convention of States is. This is a limited framework where state legislatures, not the ones that send people to D.C., your state legislatures and your state representatives, the ones who live next to you, your neighbors that you could walk to. The state legislatures move to gather together under Article 5 of the Constitution and radically castrate federal powers back to the 10th Amendment where it belongs. And I'm sure right about now, when people say, oh, it's going to be a runaway convention. Oh, there's going to be power that gets in there from the outside. As if there's not a no opportunity cost to inaction, friends. That is also a delusion. There is most definitely an opportunity cost to sitting and doing things the exact same way they've been done. It's further enslavement. It's a coward's answer for someone to say, oh, we're just going to sit here on our hands and complain and do nothing to extricate themselves from the situation which they and their families before them dug us into. The generations before, and not everybody, the en masse experience of the past two generations has been, just be calm, don't overreact, have something to drink, sit back, watch Wheel of Fortune, or binge watch Netflix. It'll all be better tomorrow. Bull. Look at where we're at. 20 years of my generation going and fighting and dying and coming back maimed. For what? So that I can have to worry about the government listening to me on my phone? So that I have to go through X number of humiliating steps to get on a freaking plane? So that this same federal government now is weaponizing the entity itself against Americans who hold traditional and constitutional values? The people who are saying, oh, don't do the Convention of States. Here's my question to you. What's your other solution that doesn't involve bloodshed and that produces action at some point? You've got none. None. It is a child's response and a coward's answer to sit there and say the vehicle which the founders gave us to fix the very situation we're in isn't good enough, and sitting and doing nothing is somehow better and superior than fixing it the way they told us to. Unless you're smarter than the founding fathers, be quiet about it. Quit lying to people. Quit fomenting this Messiah complex idea that someone's going to parachute out in the bottom of the ninth with the bases loaded, with full count, and somehow is going to fix everything. Nonsense. A child and a coward would put that option forward. Why is that? Because it asks nothing of you other than to sit and complain. It asks nothing of us. It asks no diligence. All we have to do is pick up the freaking phone and call our legislatures. Many states have already signed on to the Convention of States. I'll put links in the description box below to make it insultingly easy for you to get involved. You don't want to do secession? Oh, that was decided at Gettysburg. Rather than make this a civics lesson that will not be received by the vast majority of people, there is no fixing this at a federal level. No participation in presidential elections from this point forward is going to fix a freaking thing. That is delusional. Nothing that we've done to participate in their grid has yielded any kind of results other than more debt, more spending, more enslavement, more loss of our rights here domestically, and more overstretching of our empire internationally. I'm tired of seeing news reports of Marines getting killed for what? The best of our nation? Getting killed for what exactly? No. This monstrosity, this malignant tumor that is the federal government has got to get checked and has to be reined in radically. The only peaceful solutions that you've got are Convention of States or secession. Unless you've got some other solution that's got, I don't know, the wisdom of the founders behind it. Oh, wait, that's right. Those are the only two they gave us. People want to quote Jefferson, oh, the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time. No, you're not going to do the refreshing of the tree unless you get off your butt and pick up the freaking phone. It would be irresponsible for us to propose such a thing. When the founders gave us the solution, they understood this thing, they crafted it. They were far wiser than we are. The Convention of States radical castration of federal powers under Article 5, restricting the federal powers back to the 10th Amendment where they belong. That's the only solution I see, other than a dystopian future of chaos and of abject servitude. These people are wicked. This federal government is rogue to the point now where they have unelected bureaucrats who are interfering in private agreements. The CDC putting out basically an edict that private contracts have been interdicted, that landlords cannot collect rent, private people, like small time people can't collect rents from their tenants for how much longer? How much money are they supposed to lose? This is anarchical in the worst sense of the word. It always starts from the top down. Friends, you got to get this video out. If you want to avoid a very dark future, you got two peaceful options. Convention of States is the one that gives us, in my opinion, the best opportunities to keep not only the balance between the state and the federal governments, but to do what the Founding Fathers told us was necessary to do. You do realize, right? Like there is, I say this again, there is a cost to inaction. You're not going to gain anything by sitting on your hands and hoping that just another round, just another failed round of elections, fake elections that are going be stolen anyway. You think that another round of elections participating at the federal level is going to change anything? Of course not. Your only hope is to fix it at the state level. And if you're going to say that, oh, that won't work, it's runaway convention, give me another option. Oh, that's right, you want to sit and bitch and complain and do nothing. People who want to sit and bitch and complain and do nothing and take no action but want to whine, cannon fodder of history, man. Dime a dozen. Dime a dozen. The same people who, like after the victory's been won, will say, oh, I was with him all along. No. You want to be a leader? You want to be courageous? You want to do something that will actually curtail the Fed's power? Like even if Joe Biden's out, guys, I'll say this again, like even if Joe Biden is out, look at the top 5 in line for presidential succession. There's nobody there that's a friend of freedom. This thing's broken. It needs to get cut off. It's a gangrenous limb. You know what you do in order to save a body when you've got a gangrenous limb? You cut it off in hopes that it doesn't get septic and spread to the entire corpus of the body. You want to save any semblance of how we've been set up in the United States? You've got to. That's the only option that we have. All that to say, if it doesn't go through, if these people continue unabated in the expansion of their power, it will be disastrous. It will be utter ruin for us. You need to have your food stored up. You need to have a way to defend and protect yourselves. And you need to be able to take care of your family's medical needs at home. Delta Airlines already announced that it would be increasing premiums, healthcare premiums monthly by I think $200 for anyone who did not elect to roll up their sleeve. It's just the beginning. They're going to weaponize every possible aspect of anything associated with federal power against people who would strive to hold on to their rights. Rather than sitting and doing nothing, you have an action plan. Convention of States on a governmental level and on a civics participation level and on a personal and individual level and on a responsibility level. Storing up your food. Having cultivation as a capability, if at all possible. Self-defense. Carry your weapon with you everywhere you go. Take care of your family's medical needs at home. If you want to train with me, I got links in the description box below. I offer an online class. I also teach classes in person in my live training events. Friends, the hour is very late. Walking with the Lord, listening to Him, that doesn't mean that we're lost in stoicism and apathy. We are human beings, and there is righteous indignation that is warranted at times like this. Don't let anybody tell you that you shouldn't be getting upset about this stuff. If you can't get upset about this in a righteous way, you don't feel anything, and you'll never be upset at anything that's wrong ever happening in front of you. People who tell you, oh, you should sit back and be chill, just relax and don't get upset about things. Oh, in your anger, do not sin. The pretext of that is that you can possibly be angry and not sin because God gave us anger. Anger is an emotion that came to us because God installed it into our software when He created mankind. Anger exists as a vehicle, as a fuel to charge us into action and to keep us going whenever there are things that are wrong happening in front of us. People who tell you to sit back and not get angry about things, those are cowards. Call them what they are. Cowards. They use it as an excuse for apathy. No. There are some things for which it is righteous to be angry about, and use that as a fuel to move forward into your civic responsibility and into your personal preparedness. Friends, please share this video. Please get this word out. I appreciate you very much. I hope it was helpful for you today. For now, it's Patriot, and signing off. I'll see y'all later. Bye.